Hi, gang, it's Adam.
And Patrick.
Coming up on today's episode, we announce the winner of our Epcot Extravaganza 2019 Dumbo Prize Pack giveaway. We cover the latest Disney news and head to Liberty Square in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom for a walk in the park. As always, we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Patrick.
Hello, Adam.
Hello, Patrick. How are you, my friend?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. How was your Easter?
I'll tell you what. It was hoppin'.
Yeah. I like what you did there.
Thank you so much. It was excellent.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Keep going. Is there another one?
We were cracking
Okay.
eggs
Yeah.
and good times.
Okay.
I lost the thread. I'm so sorry. How was your Easter?
It was bunny.
Oh no.
Not as good.
You blew it.
Not as good.
Uh-oh.
I just sat in my apartment and ate as much ham as possible.
I that sounds delightful.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you.
It was tasty.
Oh dear.
I got the meat sweats.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little salt intake
Yep.
for the year. Good for you.
Yeah.
Adam, I have to tell you, I'm looking at our agenda right now, and I'm a little upset.
What?
Because you didn't mention that we have to talk about how you and Matthew are new papas. And when I say papas, I mean P-A-W, papas.
We have a fur baby now.
Yeah, you got a puppy.
Do. We got a little puppy. Her name is Penny.
And she's adorable as the day is long.
If you want to see pictures of her, I will be posting them relentlessly on my personal Instagram at Adam Stephen Hummel.
Yeah, I'm a little offended by how many pictures I'm seeing already. Just kidding. She's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Thank you so much.
And I include myself in that list.
You know, it's been it has been a lifelong dream of mine to have a dog.
Yes.
And I actually get a little emotional talking about it because it's like a dream realized. And I finally have a dog, and she's just the sweetest little thing.
Yeah.
And I miss her terribly right now because it's my first time apart from her. So can we just blow through this episode as quickly as possible?
So you're weaning right now? Is that what you would say?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I'm weaning myself off of her. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Go see Adam's Instagram. The pictures are adorable.
She's a cutie. But on to Disney-related matters.
I guess.
Yes. We have a couple of shout-outs that we need to give this week.
We sure do. Do you want to start us off with the shout-outs?
I do.
Shout at
We
me.
have to give a shout-out to Scott, who you can find on Instagram at ScooterFossil82, because he sent us the sweetest message in DM. He's a listener of the podcast, and we really appreciate him taking the time to listen. So, Scott, thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. Great Scott.
Oh,
Do you like that accent?
not really.
Okay. Hashtag never again.
You tried.
I did.
Good for you.
I swung
Yeah.
and I missed.
And now it's a sports reference, so we're really in the...
I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know how to finish that sentence. I swung for the bleachers? Is
Yeah.
that what they say?
I think so.
For the outfield?
Hey, I think either of those would be good.
I swung and I missed.
It wasn't a miss. It was like a bunt.
Okay. I like a good bunt cake. Bunt.
Speaking of Easter, that seems perfect for Easter. A bunt.
Do you know that reference? It's a bunt.
Yes, but I can't place it.
My big fat Greek wedding.
Yes, yes. Oh,
Bunt.
now I'm hungry.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's.
Okay. I've got a fun little shout out actually.
Do you?
To Eric James on Instagram.
Eric James.
Who sent me a message mere minutes ago before we started recording.
I like that.
Here's the thing. I was a little afraid of this message at first.
Yeah.
Because he had never messaged me before on Instagram.
Okay.
So it was just sort of a couple of words. And
Okay.
it said, so I did a thing. And I was like, do I open this or do I not open this? And I opened it, obviously.
Obviously.
Because I want to see what's happening.
Yes.
So it continued. So I did a thing.
Okay.
Thanks for the inspiration.
Okay.
And it was a picture of his registration for Marathon Weekend.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Fantastic.
You didn't know where I was going with that story, did you?
I didn't, but I was scared and now I'm joyful.
It was a race pic.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Eric James is doing his very first 5K at Run Disney.
Oh, Patrick.
I'm so excited for him. So I have a little note from him. Here's what he said to me. I don't run unless there are cookies.
Well, smart man, Eric.
Yeah, hashtag same.
Yes.
But I figured for the last year and change, I've lost 55 pounds. So what a cool way to celebrate this progress by taking my fitness up a notch while hanging out at Disney.
Okay, so this is a double congratulations. Because first of all, Eric, you lost 55 pounds. Was that it? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, congratulations on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And second, you registered for your first Run Disney event.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
And Patrick, you clearly inspired him to do so.
Well, I mean, I sent pictures of myself to everyone in the world. So I don't know if that's inspiration or just like, stop sending the pictures, I'll go.
No, I think so. I think they're like, if this guy can do it.
It's exactly what it is. If that idiot can run a half marathon, I can do a 5K at least.
You can expect your residual check from Disney any day now, Patrick.
For $1.
That's right.
Or for one bucket of popcorn.
But to you, that's like...
That's gold.
That's gold.
That's really gold.
Yeah.
No, congratulations, Eric. That's amazing. I am so proud of you. And I always tell people who talk to me about these marathons or half marathons, the scariest thing is just clicking register.
Sure.
That's all you have to do. Once you do that, the hardest part is over, I promise you. So I'm so excited for you. I hope to see you in the parks that day so I can give you a high five and a hug.
A sweaty high five and a hug.
That's right. Gross/aw.
In addition to those two shout-outs, I just want to give a general shout-out to those people that have recently rated or reviewed us on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, my goodness.
So thoughtful, so generous.
Yes.
And honestly, it really does help us improve in search results. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it helps us increase people who might find us.
Yes, thank you.
On Apple Podcasts.
Thank you, yes. So it really means the world to us that you would take the time to write a review. A lot of times people won't even bother to write a review unless it's a negative review.
Yeah, it's true.
And we've been receiving some really sweet positive reviews lately, and so we sincerely appreciate that. So thank you everyone out there.
Yeah, I have to say it really means a lot when someone goes out of their way to take time out of their day to say something nice.
Yes.
It goes so far in our lives, to be really honest.
Yes.
So thank you guys.
Next up, Patrick, we have an email from listener Jason regarding solo trips to the parks.
We sure do. So in the last episode, I recapped my solo trip to the Walt Disney World resorts, and I asked if anyone else had the same experience or different experiences and to write into us and let us know. So Jason wrote to us and said, yes, 100% to solo trips. It's so much easier to do what I want, when I want, at my own pace, when I'm alone. I plan every park day pretty carefully so I know what's going on the whole day. But if I have a squirrel moment, that's really funny to me. Squirrel. It's much easier to change plans on my own. If I want to wait in line for a meet and greet with Iridessa for 45 minutes.
Whoa.
That is some hardcore dedication.
That's a Disney fan.
Yeah. I don't have to hear anyone whining about it. Plus, there will be that moment when I just break down an ugly good cry every single day in the park.
Yep.
Hashtag same.
Yep.
When I go through pretty much any attraction or building in Epcot, but especially the seas, that's a crying moment. That reminds me of, 30 Rock? That's a deal breaker, ladies.
That's a deal breaker, ladies.
That's a crying moment. That might need to be a t-shirt. He goes on to say, happily ever after, the World of Color DCA, they all mean something really special to me, and most people just aren't going to get it. So when I do have that breakdown, I pull the sunglasses on and just go with it.
Oh, I love that.
Aw, thanks for writing in, Jason. And remove those sunglasses and cry as much as you want to.
Just full on Kirsten Dunst, ugly cry.
That was a really weird reference.
She is the best at ugly crying of anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
She will turn that on and get ugly.
I don't need to cry to get ugly.
That's not true, Patrick.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Aww.
Well, Jason, thank you for your email. And if anyone else out there wants to reach out to us via email, Patrick, how can they do that?
They could email us at info@gazedothed.com.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a question from listener Tarek. I want to say Tarek or Tariq.
Is it Tarik?
Yes.
It could be Tarek or Tarek
Oh,
or
you're
Tariq.
right.
Who can say?
I apologize to you, good sir.
Or ma'am. We don't know.
It's a sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We do
but
know.
You can find him on Instagram at Tarek_Akbik, Akbik.
All right.
So I'm probably mispronouncing that too.
Well, we're not great readers.
We are not. But he asks, which of the parks has your favorite soundtrack/songs playing throughout the park?
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to Disney World this weekend, and listening to Epcot's soundtrack gives me the most nostalgia. So, Patrick, which park soundtrack do you love the most?
Oh my gosh. If Pressed Against a Wall
Which you usually are.
by Chris Evans.
Oh. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine. I need a minute here.
Yeah.
Or Johnny Depp in his pirate outfit.
Yeah, no, but okay.
Don't do that to me.
I won't. I stopped.
Don't. How very dare you?
Rude.
So if Pressed Against the Wall by either of those two,
Yeah.
I would say Hollywood Studios has my favorite soundtrack.
Oh, I love that answer. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just got that old timey.
Yeah.
I love that sort of that vibe that
Yeah.
they give. What I will say is about that studio specifically is the Muppet Courtyard when they have all the sort of the elevator music versions of the old Muppet songs.
Sure.
You cannot find them anywhere, and if someone has them somewhere, please send them to me because it is my favorite thing in the world.
You'd think those would be on a Disney playlist.
You would think. You would be wrong.
I'm wrong.
Oprah, if you're listening, make it happen.
Oh, she's not listening.
She can do anything, though.
You're right.
What's your answer?
Thank you for asking.
We took a 5-minute pause, ladies and gentlemen. Adam's going to edit the 5-minute pause out.
I am.
He was waiting for me to ask him.
I just stared at Patrick until he asked me.
Yeah, and I had no cues because I am fully unempathetic. And
That's not true.
What's happening here?
That's not true, but I thank you for asking
You're
me.
so welcome.
After that very, very pregnant pause.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with Tarek or Tarek and go with Epcot.
I had a feeling.
I know, it's
Yeah.
obvious at this point.
In a good way, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much nostalgia wrapped up into those Epcot, especially Future World
Yeah.
songs. Those 80s synthesized,
Yeah.
glorious songs.
That electric violin.
Oh, I just love it. Yeah. And so I'm hoping that we're going to hear, and I'm assuming that we're going to hear plenty of that in the new Nighttime Spectacular coming to Epcot Forever.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
When does it come out again?
It comes out October 1st.
Okay, so I'll be there in the park for it for the Wine and Dine half marathon.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear your review of it. I can't wait to sneak down and see it myself.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's a limited window, but I'm excited for it. So anyway, my answer is Epcot. I agree. Tarek, I totally agree with you.
Moving on, Adam.
Yes.
We have but one anniversary to announce.
Okay.
But it is a big one. It's a big but. Animal Kingdom is turning 21 years old.
Oh my gosh.
It can drink now.
That's good because I often drink in
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom.
I should say it could drink legally now.
Right.
We don't know what it's been doing.
I know what it's been doing.
Yeah, it's got those bourbon chocolate shakes.
Yeah.
I've got the bourbon chocolate shakes right now because
sure
I miss
do.
them so much.
Oh.
So Animal Kingdom opened on April 22nd, 1998.
I was there that opening year.
You were?
Yes, I was.
I did not know that.
Yes, back when there was no Asia.
I don't know you at all.
Back when the Tree of Life, the Discovery Island area was completely walled off. I got to tell you, Patrick, there was not much going on.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody was gunning for the safaris, and that was the first time that fast passes were introduced. Is when that park was opened.
When
Yeah.
they had like 6 animals
It was-
on the safari.
It was 6 animals. It was the safaris. It was dinosaur, and not much else was going on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, so but it was called something else, right? The dinosaur ride?
It was called Countdown to
That's
Extinction
right.
back then. Yeah.
But it was basically the same ride.
Same ride.
Yeah.
Yep.
Minus Felicia Rashad, I bet.
No, I think she was still in it.
Really?
I think she's an opening day. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was opening day.
Every time I go on that ride, after she leaves the screen, I go, bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. I love Felicia Rashad.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
So happy anniversary, Animal Kingdom.
Happy anniversary.
Have a drink on us.
Before we get to our big announcement, Patrick, we need to put a call out there.
Yeah.
For all of our listeners who are going to be seeing Avengers Endgame
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this.
next week before Saturday,
Yeah,
right? We're
yeah.
recording next Saturday, is that right?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So, dear listeners,
Oprah?
if you happen to be seeing Avengers Endgame, either I guess would be late Wednesday night, Thursday sometime,
Yeah.
Friday sometime,
Yeah.
please reach out to us and let us know your thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, anytime before Saturday afternoon Central Time.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's very possible we will include your thoughts in next week's episode.
And I have to believe a lot of our listeners are going to be seeing this opening weekend.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to see it.
I'm excited and a little bit sad to see it because we have to say goodbye to the Avengers, basically.
Yes. In a 3-hour-long opus.
Mr. Holland's opus?
Mr. Holland's opus.
Aww.
I mean, it's not really goodbye to the Avengers. It's just goodbye to the Avengers as we know them.
That's
because
true.
There'll be a new Avengers team, I'm assuming, after this.
You don't know
going
anything,
forward.
Adam.
I'm pretty tight with Kevin Feige. I know exactly what's going on in that guy's mind.
Well, when I was talking to Chris Evans...
Oh, yeah, when he was up against a wall with you.
When I was up against a wall.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Let's be clear.
Okay.
He said... Nothing, because we were making out. So I actually don't know what's going to happen.
Well, good. No spoiler alerts then. And it will be a spoiler-free review. We should say that. We're going to do our best.
So we're basically going to say, hey, we saw the movie. That's all for this episode. Because I imagine it's going to be very hard to do a spoiler-free episode of The Avengers.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be chock full of spoilers.
Well, let me give you an example of how it's going to go next week.
Grapes.
We're basically going to give a rundown of the guys we thought were hot in the movie.
Which we've done time and time again.
Yep.
Just a recap.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about certain plot elements that already exist within the Marvel timeline.
Okay, fair enough.
And then that's it.
And then I'm going to tell you how it ends.
Yep.
Great. That's not a spoiler. That's just a full-on burning down the house.
So please reach out to us if you are of a mind to. You can do so by messaging us on social media at GDTD Podcast.
Or, of course, you can email us at info@gaysdothed.com.
And last but not least, Patrick, big moment.
Uh-oh.
We have a giveaway winner to announce.
That's right. We have the Dumbo socks.
Yes.
/ Dumbo-themed Easter eggs, Dumbo and Timothy Mouse.
Yes.
And the park map with all of the Easter egg stickers from Epcot.
Epcot's 2019 extravaganza map.
That's right. I'm so excited about this. I kind of want to win.
You can't.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in the rules.
Rude.
Yeah. Well,
Hashtag rude.
That's the life we lead. We
Okay.
chose to do this podcast. We cannot win the prizes.
I was tracking all the people who were entering. We had a lot of responses to this.
We sure did.
Oh, people are into Dumbo.
People love some Dumbo footwear.
It's true. It's so relaxing. And you can fly with them.
The TSA might give you some side-eye when they say, please pull up the legs of your pants and you reveal Dumbo and his ears.
It's because of all those peanuts.
The what?
The peanuts.
Got it.
The allergies.
Got it.
Those big peanuts.
What?
You know what I mean.
Okay.
All right, are we ready for the winner?
We're ready.
Do we need a drum roll of some kind?
No, this never works
You know
out.
I love a drum roll.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, go for it, Adam. I threw up a little bit in my mouth. The winner is Keto, spelled like the keto diet.
Oh, well, now I feel bad about myself. Okay.
Oh, no. Keto _ Melanie Q.
Congratulations, Keto _ Melanie Q.
I have so many questions for you. Are you on the keto diet?
I think she's a proponent of it. She loves it.
Or is your middle name Keto?
Oh, perhaps.
Do you just love keys and Toto? I'm stretching here.
That is a stretch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Keto _ Melanie Q.
Congratulations. And now, Patrick.
Yas Queen.
Let's say you and I just stroll on into some Disney news.
Love that news, though. Adam, I'm sorry to start us off on a somber note, but I promise to uplift us right away.
Okay.
Okay. So unless you've been living under a rock, which maybe some people have, no
me.
judgment. Hashtag no judgment.
Adam raises hand.
No, even living under a puppy.
Oh, I have.
Aww. But you're probably still aware of the recent fire that devastated the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris.
Yes.
Disney has pledged to donate $5 million to aid in the reconstruction of the cathedral.
That's incredible.
Amazing. Of course, Disney has a very close tie to the cathedral through its 1996 animated musical adaptation of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and, of course, the upcoming live-action musical adaptation, which we're all very excited about. A quote from Chairman and CEO Bob Iger: "Notre Dame is a beacon of hope and beauty that has defined the heart of Paris and the soul of France for centuries, inspiring awe and reverence for its art and architecture and for its enduring place in human history." The Walt Disney Company stands with our friends and neighbors in the community, offering our heartfelt support as well as a $5 million donation for the restoration of its irreplaceable masterpiece.
That is the least Disney can do.
I mean,
I'm proud of them for doing it.
No, of course.
But the amount of money they probably made off of the animated film and the amount of money they're going to make off of the movie, I'm sure will far surpass that. But it's great that they're contributing at all.
Well, Disney has often been found donating some at first and then doubling it later on.
Oh, okay.
They do that a lot, but it's a grand gesture, I have to say.
It definitely is. And for such a tragic loss, but fortunately, the structure itself, the stone structure is still there. So it's such a relief that still exists.
So many incredible things have been saved.
Yes.
During this fire. It's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Tragic, but
Yes.
there are so many like silver linings around it.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So well done, Disney, and our thoughts and prayers are with you, Notre Dame.
Patrick, it's official. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is coming to Mickey's Toontown in Disneyland Park in 2022.
That's so far away.
It's so far away.
I can't even count that high, how many days that is.
Disney Parks blog recently announced the news. As we all know, this is the first major Mickey-themed ride-through attraction, and it will put guests inside the wacky and unpredictable world of a Mickey Mouse cartoon short where anything can happen.
Oh, my.
With an original story and lovable theme song, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway uses state-of-the-art technologies and dazzling visual effects to transform the cartoon world into an incredible and immersive, multi-dimensional experience. Patrick, we were just talking about this on last week's episode. It was a rumor at that time.
Yeah.
And it was also rumored that the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios would be delayed until sometime next year.
Yeah, this ride is a real roller coaster for me. A real
sure
emotional
is.
roller coaster.
It's not physically a roller coaster,
No,
but
it
it
won't
is an
be.
emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sad to report, Patrick, that
Oh, no. Oh.
the rumors about the attraction in Disney's Hollywood Studios are in fact true.
Shocking.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway will not be opening in Disney's Hollywood Studios until spring 2020.
Okay, so this is still before the 50th anniversary.
That's correct.
So that's a silver lining.
Unfortunately, it falls very late in Disney's Hollywood Studios' 30th anniversary.
True story. Also, it's opening after Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, so there's not going to be a lot of places to put people while they're waiting to get into the park. Do you know what I mean?
Again, it goes back to that, which we talked about in last week's episode. At some point, Disney's Hollywood Studios will catch up, correct? There will be enough attractions at some point
Yes.
to entertain all of the people that are coming to the park.
I mean, it has to happen.
Yes.
But we just don't know when that's going to happen.
Apparently, it's spring 2020.
I mean, I guess we kind of know. We kind of know. Yeah.
That is the new date when Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway will be opening in Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Fair enough.
It's a bummer because we're both going in August for Gay Days at Disney World. And I assumed that the ride would be open by then.
I mean, if ever there was a ride for all the gays, it's this one. I mean, come on, right? It's so joyous and happy. And
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm just speaking for myself on this one because I am so excited for this ride.
Yeah, well, we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. So put on your patience pants.
I don't have pants.
How about some shorts?
Okay.
And wait it out.
Nope, not going to do it. I'm going to throw a fit in my short shorts. I'm short-tempered, wearing short shorts, and I am short. Each April, Disneyland Resort recognizes cast members who go above and beyond to give back to the community as part of the Disney Volunteers, capital EARS Volunteers program. Cast members are nominated by their peers, and Disney selects a handful of Volunteers of the Year. The recipients are honored at a ceremony with medals and a $2,500 donation to a nonprofit organization of their choice.
That's fabulous.
Amazing. So this year's recipients are Craig Kawamoto, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who was honored as the Volunteer of the Year. A few of the nonprofits benefiting from Craig's efforts this year were the Orange County Food Bank, Disney's Military Care Package Drives, and Walk the Farm Charity Walk. Craig chose the Nisei Week Foundation as his nonprofit to donate to. Next up, the Volunteer Team of the Year award went to the Reservation Sales Team at Aulani Resort and Spa. This 20-person team volunteered a total of 1,400 hours in 2018.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And they donated that time to various nonprofits in the community. The charity they chose to donate to was Make-A-Wish, one of my favorite charities.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, the Volunteer Family of the Year Award, and I love that that's an award,
Yes.
went to Melinda and Corey Lawless and their daughter Mila, and Melinda's sister, Melissa. That's a lot of M's.
It's a lot of M's in that family.
I'm here for it. So in 2018, this family volunteered with Relay for Life, Children's Hospital, Orange County, Toys for Tots, and the Orange County Food Bank, just to name a few. A quote from the Lawless family: "We're fortunate to work at the happiest place on earth, and if we can spread some of that happiness around by volunteering in our community, we want to take the opportunity we're given to brighten someone else's life." The charity that they picked to donate to was First Book. Well done, everybody. What am I doing with my life?
I know. I feel very unaccomplished.
I know.
And I feel like I'm doing nothing for my community.
You are doing a lot for your community, but these people are doing a lot more than you are. Hence the awards. To learn more about Disney's volunteer program, visit publicaffairs.disneyland.com and click on Volunteers.
An April 16th, 2019 article and video posted to the Orlando Sentinel website has given us our first look inside the Disney Skyliner gondolas.
Ooh.
So what's inside, Patrick? You're asking what's inside of these gondolas, right?
Is it popcorn?
It's not popcorn unless you bring your own.
Oh, okay.
BYOP.
Yeah, that stands for a lot of things.
Each gondola contains 2 wooden benches that can carry up to 10 people. 10 people.
Bench, please.
I was not expecting that. I was expecting fewer people to fit into these. I'm assuming it's children, right?
In my head, I was like 6 max and maybe a stroller.
Yeah, okay.
10 seems like a lot.
It's a lot.
Just the 10 of us. Remember that show?
No.
Oh. It was a spin-off of Growing Pains with Kirk Cameron.
Yeah, I never saw it.
You never saw Growing Pains?
Patrick, I grew up in very rural Wisconsin.
Okay.
And I lived in a valley.
Oh.
And we didn't have cable television.
Oh, no.
And so we only got NBC and CBS.
So you were going through your own growing pains at that time.
It was rough.
Okay, fair enough.
It was rough.
Sorry to rub it in your face, but I got to watch Growing Pains and just the 10 of us. Jealous much?
As we know, some cabins will be decorated with characters from Disney films and attractions, which will gradually be unveiled beginning in May to reveal 8 bright gondola colors and 22 character themes.
Wow.
We also know the gondolas will not be air-conditioned and will instead rely on reflective windows to block out the sunlight and a, quote, passive ventilation system of mesh screens on both sides of the gondolas to bring in a breeze.
That whole sentence made me laugh from start to finish. I'm sorry.
The Sentinel noted that the system of 300 gondolas opening to the public later this fall will carry enough Disney goers to roughly match the capacity of its monorail trains. Dean Husband, a principal architect with Walt Disney Imagineering, is quoted as saying, "Our vision is, this is the most magical flight on Earth."
Aggressive.
A ride on Disney Skyliner will last between 5 to 15 minutes as gondolas traveling at 11 miles per hour fly from 15 feet to 60 feet in the air. As you can imagine, Patrick, there was a lot of discussion about the gondolas after I posted images of the interiors on our Instagram feed at GDTD Podcast.
I imagine it was a full-on mess.
I asked people if they thought the gondolas would be able to keep them cool.
Like the Fonz?
Like the Fonz.
Okay.
Hey. No one's going to know that reference, Patrick. We are old.
Oh, no.
And a majority of commenters didn't see the lack of air conditioning as the main issue.
Uh-oh.
They were more concerned with heights and instability.
Oh, dear.
Here we go. We're going to dig into this.
Oh, gosh, I'm nervous.
Liberty, who you can find on Instagram at @iron_daredevil, our friend Liberty, commented that she had more of a fear, quote, of gondolas not being able to hold her weight or being caught in one during a thunderstorm.
I mean, that's a real fear.
Valid fears.
For sure.
Our friend Luciana Patrick, who you can find on Instagram at DisneyBR Podcast, said, "It's a nope for me. I'll be waiting and even waving on the ground. Thank you. I can face my fear of heights on the rides, but that's it. There's no courage left after."
Listen, I understand.
Our friend Kale, who you met on your trip, Patrick.
Hi, Kale.
Who you can find on Instagram at KaleEnglish89 said, people are worrying about the temperature when it's a literal flying glass death trap on a string. Bleak, Kale.
Okay, calm it down, Kale. Let's calm it down.
Nick, who you can find on Instagram at Jankowski Nick.
You can also find him in Canada.
He is from Canada,
That's right.
Patrick. Said, we watched them testing the Skyliner outside Hollywood Studios over the Star Wars Rival Run weekend. The gondolas approaching the station into the wind appeared to be having a lot of bounce. Glad to see the interiors are constructed of easily cleanable materials. Puke emoji.
Oh, no. I like it bouncy, though.
Oh, is this going back to you pressed up against a wall and Chris Evans is there?
No comment. Hashtag no comment.
It is believed cast members will be the first to experience the Skyliner system when testing begins in earnest and around the clock in August. Patrick, do you have any fears about riding the Skyliner?
I feel like I do now after hearing all of those death traps.
Yeah.
Do you have any fears about it?
I don't. I have a fear of heights, but I don't think 60 feet in the air will give me a fear of heights. And usually when I'm enclosed, I'm less afraid of heights. So if I'm on a plane or if I'm in a gondola, I won't have a fear of heights.
I feel like there's an opportunity here for me to take all these people. Listen, Kale, who else is there?
Iron Daredevil.
I'm Luciana. I'm gonna take you all on the gondola trip of your life. I'll bring a flask.
Oh.
We're gonna conquer some fears.
A little liquid courage.
Maybe some Quaaludes. Who can say?
Wow.
We're going to get through this together. Whatever we have to do, I'm here for you. You're welcome.
So thoughtful.
I'm such a good friend. On May 1st, Disney's Hollywood Studios will celebrate its 30th anniversary in the park. If you happen to be in the park that day, here's a taste of what you can expect. Starting at 10 a.m., Mickey Mouse and friends will lead a star-studded cavalcade down Hollywood Boulevard. Commemorative 30th anniversary guide maps and buttons will be handed out at the gates. I want one of those buttons.
You can find one on eBay immediately following this event for $400.
Oh, that's a low ball. It's going to be $1,000 starting for sure. Of course, exclusive 30th anniversary merch will be unveiled, including t-shirts, baseball caps, a Tervis tumbler, a special magic band, which I want desperately.
I saw that. It's really cute.
Oh, I want it so bad.
Yeah.
Ornaments, and much more. There will also be exclusive annual pass holder merch yet to be unveiled. Items will be available starting at 8 a.m. at Park Open until supplies last. And obviously, special food items will be available. Best of all, the official debut of Wonderful World of Animation will take place that evening. Projected on the Chinese theater, this new nighttime spectacular is a tribute to animation celebrating magic, family, adventure, romance, and friendship. The show will debut at 9:05 p.m. just before Star Wars: A Galactic Spectacular Fireworks Show.
Fantastic.
Sounds so fun.
It does.
So Disney has also announced a special after-hours event that night for guests wanting to celebrate the anniversary all night long. The after-hours event is a separately ticketed experience and can be purchased for $125 in advance or $129 day of. Annual pass holders and DVC members can purchase tickets for just $95. You can go online right now to the Disney World website to purchase or call 407-939-7795.
Does the after hours get you anything, or is it just that you get to stay in the park longer on that day?
As of right now, they haven't announced anything special beyond the free popcorn and free ice cream. So who can say? But I have to imagine for $129 on that day, you'd get something. I want you to guess how many children I will push to get that opening day button.
Well,
it's more than 5. I'll start there.
The correct answer is every child?
Yes, anyone in my way.
And also every senior citizen who may be visiting that park that day?
I can't discriminate.
So it's old, young.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anyone's going down for you to get that button.
It's true. They're going down. I'm yelling timber.
That's 2 episodes that you've brought up Kesha in a row.
I'm going for 5.
Disneyland Resort is introducing a new event to guests of all ages this Halloween season, Oogie Boogie Bash, a Disney Halloween party at Disney California Adventure.
I can't wait. I'm so excited for this. I'm jealous of everyone who's going.
Patrick.
Yes?
May I break in for this very important announcement?
This just in.
We are going
What?
in October, and we will be experiencing this because I demand it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, let me tell you everything we're going to experience as a part of this event.
Talk to me about we're going to experience this.
We are going to Disneyland in October.
I knew that.
This party is happening in October.
Shut your mouth.
This party is occurring on the dates that we will be in Disneyland in October.
Adam,
Yes.
this is brand new information, and I'm mad at you for not telling me before.
Yeah, so we're going to go to Disney California Adventure, and we're going to experience this Halloween event.
I'm going to throw up right now. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's violent.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yes.
Continue with the story.
Okay, so we're going to need to get separate tickets because this is a separate ticket party, and it will treat us to multiple new experiences that are fun for the entire family. So bring your wife and kids, Patrick.
I will.
And it will be celebrated on select dates from September 6th through October 31st, 2019.
Stop it right now.
Highlights of the party will include, Patrick, get ready,
Oh God.
Villainous,
Ooh.
a new World of Color show.
Oh my gosh.
Which will explore the villainous side of Disney characters through fountains, lights, lasers, projections, and special effects.
I'm so excited I could slap you right now.
The Redwood Creek Challenge Trail,
What?
which will be transformed into a wondrous and ethereal world of Disney villains unlike anything you've seen before.
Okay, listener Oprah at home. This is the first time I'm hearing this information,
Yeah.
so my reactions are valid
So
and
it's
real.
it's a walkthrough experience with
Oh.
like Disney villains.
My Lanta.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
The event will also include immersive treat trails featuring iconic characters such as the Mad Hatter from Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland.
Oh my God, I'm going to punch you.
And Oogie Boogie.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine? So it's not just regular treat trails, it's treat trails and characters combined.
I'm going to faint.
This is the one you're going to be most excited about, Patrick.
There's more?
There's more.
Okay.
The Descendants, a new pulsing party in the backlot area of Hollywoodland, inspired by the popular Descendants franchise from the Disney Channel.
Well, that's just a Tuesday for me.
You love the Descendants, don't you?
I've seen upwards of 0 episodes.
Okay.
They're
films, so clearly
they're
you have no
films?
idea what you're talking about.
Nope.
but-
Disney Plus, I need you.
The party will also include Disneyland's Frightfully Fun Parade, which is transferring to Disney California Adventure Park for the first time. Now, I saw this last year when I went. It's basically like Boo to You, which is what they do in Disney World for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It's a smaller version of that.
Okay.
But I gotta say, and people are probably gonna get really angry with me,
I'm ready. I'm going to slap you so
the
hard.
theme song for this parade, the Frightfully Fun Parade, is much better than Boo to You.
Ladies and gentlemen, please hold while I throw this drink in Adam's face.
I love the theme song from Frightfully Fun Parade. I just love it.
Well, you love things that are terrible, so
Hey, now.
just get terribly awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Also, Patrick, it keeps going.
Oh my gosh.
The party will include Mickey's Trick and Treat Show, an interactive stage production which will invite kids of all ages to join Mickey Mouse and his pals as they throw a one-of-a-kind Halloween party.
I'm a kid of all ages.
You certainly are.
Okay.
And last but not least, the party will include character encounters, Patrick, where we will be able to meet beloved Disney characters and villains too. And we may just be surprised at who we discover at this Halloween party, ready for photos and greetings.
What's a surprise? What's in the box?
I bet there's... You made this a 7 moment. It got
you.
so dark.
It's Halloween after all.
I bet they're going to be bringing some truly fantastic Disney characters that we may not have seen for a while, villains we may not have seen.
I'm getting
in
on a
ages.
plane now and just to wait there at the
Well,
gates.
yeah, you'll be early, but okay.
I'm fine with it.
Tickets go on sale to Disneyland Resort annual pass holders, Disney Vacation Club members, and Disney Visa card holders on April 23rd, and to the general public on April 30th, and may be purchased online as well as at the Disneyland Resort main gate and by phone at 714-781-4636.
I'm plugging it in my calendar right now to purchase tickets for us.
You have the Disney Visa, yes?
And I'm an annual pass holder.
But it's a Disneyland annual pass holder.
Oh, man.
But you have the Disney Visa, yes?
Oh, yeah.
So you will be buying our tickets, and you can just buy mine for me, and I won't pay you back. Thank you.
Let's be clear that your birthday's around the corner.
Oh.
But I'm not getting that for you.
Yeah, okay. Fair.
Thank you. My Venmo is Patrick Kazuki.
Entry to Disney California Adventure Park before the party is included with an Oogie Boogie Bash ticket. The after-hours party begins at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and you will have the opportunity to play in the park for 3 hours before the event starts on Tuesday and Thursday nights, excluding October 29th and October 31st, or 4 hours on Sunday nights plus October 29th and October 31st. For more information and tickets to Oogie Boogie Bash, a Disney Halloween party at Disneyland Resort, visit disneyland.com/Halloween party.
I'm so excited. The only thing I can think of to do is to choke my Donald Duck stuffed animal a little bit.
Okay, listeners, he's doing it right now on the table, and it's very disturbing.
But he likes it. It's fine.
Oh, and now it's oddly sexual and weird.
We should move on quickly. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Patrick.
Do you know what I want to do?
What do you want to do?
I want to take a walk.
Yeah?
I want to take a walk in the park.
Oh, because I thought you were going to say a walk to remember.
Oh, with Mandy Moore?
Yes.
I'm Mr. New Candy.
I don't remember that song. Is that it? That she sang that?
She did. Not
Okay.
Not in the movie, but that's,
okay.
that's one of her big hits.
I was going to say that does not seem appropriate for the movie that I saw.
No. This was from the hit movie Center Stage.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Should we just do an all Mandy Moore episode? Because she was entangled.
Let's pivot to an all Mandy Moore podcast.
I'm here for that. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
No, I'm talking about a walk in the park.
You sure are.
The Disney parks.
Yes, okay.
We're going to continue our series of a walk in the park through Walt Disney World. And our new land that we're walking through is Liberty Square.
Okay, now, Patrick, right out of the gate, I gotta say
Yeah.
that I say right out of the gate way too much. As I listen back to episodes, I realize I'm like, Adam, stop saying right out of the gate.
No, this is fresh news.
Okay, so right out of the gate, Patrick,
Yeah.
I gotta say, this is my favorite area of Magic Kingdom.
Adam, you and I differ from that completely.
I know.
Because it's my least favorite park in Magic Kingdom.
I did not know that, but because you had commented back when we did our Walk in the Park Frontierland, which was episode 23, which was released on February 17th, 2019, that was your favorite area of Magic Kingdom. Is that still true?
Frontierland?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it has Splash Mountain, and we both love Splash Mountain. But this is my favorite atmospheric area of Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Don't you feel like it's kind of like creepy, like a witch hanging could happen at any moment?
I mean, when I'm there, yeah, it does. It feels like, let's throw her in the water and see if she floats.
You know I love history.
Yeah.
And I love American history.
You do.
And it contains my favorite attraction of all time, which is Haunted Mansion.
It's true.
Whenever I walk into that area, I feel like it's like autumn.
Yeah.
And
I hear you.
Are we in Salem? You know, it's like kind of creepy and weird. And I love Liberty Square.
Now, I want to make sure that listeners know that I love all of Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
And
sure.
When I say it's my least favorite, I mean that in the highest regard because I love
Sure.
all of Magic Kingdom.
Sure.
I just like the other lands a little bit better, but Liberty Square is themed so well, and it is beautiful. So let's give a little background on
Okay.
Liberty Square before we start going on our walk, shall
Let's
we?
do that.
So originally, it should be noted that Liberty Square was just going to be a small annex to the side of Main Street, USA, but designers soon discovered a need for a land that could sort of rival and offer the same feeling that New Orleans Square in Disneyland was offering. But they knew that they wanted it to be a little bit different, a little bit distinct. So they decided on an early American 18th century theme. And because soon after the park would open, it was about to be the bicentennial, which was, as I just said, around the corner. So they concentrated on the American Revolutionary War as the setting.
That's right. The park opened, as we all know, in 1971. And just a few years down the road is going to be 1976, which was the bicentennial. And so they very smartly, I didn't realize that, but very smartly decided to make it Liberty Square and therefore kind of a celebration of American history and the Revolutionary War. I mean, can you celebrate that? I guess you can.
I mean, Independence Day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's a celebration.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I did not know that that was the inspiration behind. I knew that they were sort of theming it after New Orleans Square, and New Orleans is a little bit too close to Florida, so they're like, man, that we don't need to do that. Let's do something else. I didn't know that they were going after the bicentennial as a theme.
Well, I had heard that Walt Disney originally had planned to include this kind of as a part of Disneyland Park. And then it never happened because of the World's Fair and because of Walt's passing. And so when Disney World came about, then they were like, well, this is a perfect opportunity for us to finally include it in a park.
There's so many stories around that time of things that were going to be and then weren't and then came back to fruition later on. And this is one of those stories.
That's right.
A quick fun fact is that Liberty Square is actually the smallest land by guest area in the Magic Kingdom.
It sure is.
Which is crazy because it actually seems really big when you walk through it, but that's because you've got the Haunted Mansion, which is pretty enormous, and the Hall of Presidents, which is pretty enormous, and it's sort of a straight line and that curves off a little bit.
See, to me, it feels very small. Like, I get the sense
it does?
that it feels very small. Yeah.
I feel it because it's so open. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you just see sort of the houses and the buildings, and it's so open-aired that it seems like a bigger land than it is.
Did you know, Patrick, that it reflects existing locations?
I did know that.
Yes, and therefore Imagineers gave it an enhanced reality and made it even better than real. Like, that's what they were going for, was kind of like history, but prettier history.
Yeah, for sure. So along those lines, did you know that the timeline through Liberty Square is sort of linear in time?
Yes, much like Frontierland is laid out.
Exactly. So if you start at Haunted Mansion, which is supposed to be set in sort of the 1600s.
Yes. Like,
and if you go
upstate New York, 1600s, dark, gothic.
You're on a roll here with this gothic.
Yeah, I like it.
I can see why you like this land a lot now.
Yeah.
Okay, it makes sense. It's very sort of Interview with a Vampire kind of a feeling.
Okay, well, I wouldn't go that far, but...
I went that far.
I mean, am I wearing a velvet frock coat with a lace underlay?
When are you not wearing
tonight?
that? Yeah.
Okay, well,
that's my question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so back on track. If you start there, when it starts in the 1600s, and you go sort of counterclockwise all the way to Big Thunder Mountain, which is actually in Frontierland, it goes from the 1600s to the 1800s in time.
And we're still not really 100% clear on how the Diamond Horseshoe Saloon fits into this, right, Patrick? I mean, it's technically part of Liberty Square, I guess. But Liberty Square is like supposed to be the original 13 colonies, right?
Yep.
And as you talked about with like the progression, kind of the timeline of Liberty Square, it's supposed to be like St. Louis, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's not one of the original 13 colonies.
It sure is not. And we talked about this in our last walk through the park of Frontierland, that we fully, at Gaze to the D, claim the Diamond Horseshoe as part of Frontierland.
I'm Gaze to the D, and I endorse this message.
Yeah, exactly. So when we talk about restaurants, I am not including the Diamond Horseshoe.
I'm not either.
Okay, good.
It's Frontierland.
We already talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how do you want to dive into our stroll through this land, Patrick? Do you want to do like what we did with Frontierland, where we talk about attractions and then kind of talk about restaurants and shops? Do you want to break it down that way?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm going to lead with.
I have to tell you, Adam, I intentionally wrote nothing down about Haunted Mansion because I knew that you were going to school me in every way at every turn. So I was like, you know what? You got this.
That's not true because I'm still learning things, incredible facts about Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
But we've talked about Haunted Mansion so much.
We have.
On this podcast. And how can you not? Because it is truly a standout attraction in all of the Disney parks.
So buckle up. Here's a 5-hour discussion about Haunted Mansion.
But let me just tell you a few things about Haunted Mansion while we're here.
Just a few hundred things.
It is a Tudor-style structure, and it's on a hill, which makes it different from the Disneyland version, right? Which is kind of like a New Orleans-style mansion.
Yeah.
And this is very much a kind of like an upstate New York, back when it was called New Amsterdam, kind of style home/castle on a hill.
Sure. Actually, if you take the time to look at the Haunted Mansion, it's really beautiful from the outside.
It really is.
It's crazy. And that queue, though.
Is really outstanding. And honestly, a big part of the attraction itself.
Am I correct in understanding that queue does not exist in Disneyland?
It does not exist in Disneyland.
So does that whole storyline of like the twins and it does not exist there?
Does not exist there.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. And it's good that you bring that up because we would not have, obviously, the Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion without the Disneyland Haunted Mansion, which was kind of like the original inspiration for it.
Of course.
And there's so many things that are similar between the two, but there's a lot of kind of really cool differences between the two as well.
And we're going to focus mainly on Disney World, though.
We certainly are.
Okay.
But having said that,
Uh-oh.
we can't really talk about the Walt Disney World version without going back and looking at the history of the Disneyland version, because that's where it all started.
That's fair.
So sit back, Patrick.
Okay. For how long?
The Disneyland version was originally concepted by Harper Goff back in 1951 when the park was being developed as kind of an addition to Walt Disney Studios, right? So they were originally going to build Disneyland, although it may not have been called Disneyland back in that day.
Right.
Across from the Walt Disney Studios.
Sure. The actual Walt Disney Studios.
That's correct. Ken Anderson, again, all these Imagineers, amazing, and they come up frequently on our podcast. Ken Anderson was tasked with creating the story for the original version for the Disneyland Haunted Mansion, and it was going to be a rundown haunted house walkthrough experience. And Walt Disney hated the idea of having a rundown house in his park, right? Like, he wanted everything to be kind of very well kept and beautiful to look at. And Walt Disney was inspired by the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. And everybody knows about the Winchester House, right? Like, it's this huge, weird mansion with a lot of doors that open up to nothing or to, like, shafts where people can fall down into it and just, like, kind of disappear forever.
And stairwells that go nowhere, right?
Right. It's just a huge mansion built by the heiress to the Winchester fortune.
Yeah.
She had a lot of time on her hands. She had a lot of money on her hands. And she basically wanted construction to never end on her house.
They vaguely pay reference to this in American Horror Story, in Hotel.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga!
Construction began on the Disneyland version of the Haunted Mansion in 1961, and the exterior was completed in 1963, and there was a lag after that due to the 1964 World's Fair and Walt's death in 1966. And after that, Patrick, it went through a bit of a redesign.
Yes.
Because originally, did you know this? The Haunted Mansion storyline was supposed to be about an old sea captain who had murdered his wife.
I did know that, actually.
Yeah, that walkthrough experience was supposed to be about a sea captain who had done some very, very bad things.
And there is a painting in the Haunted Mansion in the Disney World version of sort of a pirate ship, basically, that's getting swallowed up. And I wonder if that's in reference to that.
So after Walt's passing, the attraction went through a redesign, and Mark Davis and Claude Coates oversaw that redesign.
The Mark Davis.
That's right, the Mark Davis, who we bring up in every single episode.
Kind of true.
So as I mentioned on a previous episode, Claude Coates wanted the ride scary, right? And Mark Davis wanted it funny. And what was created out of those two desires was a scary upfront haunted mansion that basically turned into a very funny kind of lighthearted experience.
It was like those two Muppets that ran into each other and created a big Muppet on the Muppet Show.
Yes.
Remember that?
It was exactly like that, Patrick.
Thank you so much.
In addition to that, Imagineers Raleigh Crump and Yale Gracie wanted to create a museum of the weird restaurant or walkthrough experience. Do you know about this, Patrick?
I heard about this and it sounds terrifying.
It was basically going to be what Blue Bayou is to Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean. So it was going to be like a restaurant attached to the Haunted Mansion or a walkthrough experience attached to the Haunted Mansion.
Sure.
And several of the elements that you see in the Disneyland version of the Haunted Mansion and the Walt Disney World version of the Haunted Mansion can trace their roots back to this museum of the weird that was going to be created.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The ride narrator, or the ghost host, is Paul Frees, who was known as the Man of 1,000 Voices, and many listeners will know him as the voice of Professor Ludwig von Drake. He also voices the auctioneer in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. And recorded the iconic Dead Men Tell No Tales.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
did I?
used in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Is he a Disney legend yet?
He should be if he's not.
Okay, we should look that up.
We should.
Okay. Hold, please. And we're back. And the answer is, he is a Disney legend.
Oh, thank you, Google.
He was honored in 2006.
Fantastic.
I almost flipped a table if he was not going to be a Disney legend.
So Paul Frees was also the voice of Boris Badenov in the Rocky and Bullwinkle show.
Yeah.
And this is the one I love. He was also the voice of Burgermeister Meisterburger and his assistant Grimsley in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the Rankin and Bass Holiday Classic.
Not a legend.
We can't mention the Haunted Mansion without talking about Grim Grinning Ghosts, right,
It's true,
Patrick?
yeah.
And that was composed by Buddy Baker with lyrics by Imagineer X Atencio.
Mm-hmm.
And back when the ride was originally going to be a walkthrough experience, Patrick, the Imagineers were concerned that the ride would not offer enough capacity for guests, so it'd be a very kind of low capacity attraction.
Oh.
And that's when they thought, oh, we have an Omnimover system, which was developed for a ride called Adventure Through Inner Space back in Disneyland.
Of course.
Which, oddly enough, was narrated by Paul Frees.
Uh-oh.
And they said, let's apply that Omnimover system to the Haunted Mansion, and that's how they came up with the Doom Buggies.
Oh, clever. And I'm sorry, legend Paul Frees.
Disney legend Paul Frees.
How very dare you.
You're absolutely right.
Thank you.
The attraction opened in Disneyland on August 12th, 1969, after that redesign which we talked about. And it's so weird to think about that the Haunted Mansion sat vacant in Disneyland.
I know.
For that long. The facade was completed in 1963, and it didn't open until 1969.
You know what? This is a good example of Disney knows when to pump the brakes.
Well, they had so much going on, right? They had the World's Fair, and then they had Waltz Passing.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going on in that time period, but they eventually, of course, opened the Haunted Mansion, and it was a huge success.
For
and
sure.
Basically alleviated the mourning period for Waltz Passing and gave the public an opportunity to kind of find joy in the parks again.
In a grim sort of way as I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah.
But beautiful at
Yeah.
the same time.
Now we can jump forward to Walt Disney World's Haunted Mansion.
Yes, please.
And that opened on October 1st, 1971.
Opening day.
Opening day. It was an opening day attraction. And that interactive queue that you mentioned earlier, Patrick, opened in March 2011. And that was basically a game changer because the queue in Walt Disney World can be hot, hot, hot.
For sure.
So uncomfy. And that interactive queue really does make the time fly by.
It's very distracting for sure. It's hilarious to watch the kids get squirted by water.
Yes.
So funny.
Yeah, they never learn.
Oh my gosh.
Those little dummies, they never learn.
I laugh every single time. Every single time.
I mean, what can we say beyond this other than, I truly love the Haunted Mansion. I love that experience.
We both do,
And
but it's definitely like dear to your heart.
It's a classic ride, and I will always go on it every trip I take.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's classic. It's romantic. It's whimsical. It's all the elements you can imagine in a Disney ride. Now, I'm sure you didn't think that we could up the fun factor.
Wait a minute.
But
How
we're
dare
about
you?
to with the Hall of Presidents.
Do you not genuinely, Patrick, do you not genuinely love the Hall of Presidents?
I genuinely, listener out there, I have never been on the Hall of Presidents. By on, I mean in, because it's not really a ride.
Patrick, are you being serious?
I'm being
now?
very serious.
Okay. Well, I can see that. I forgive you.
I've been in the building.
Okay, so you've seen the lobby area with the artifacts?
Yeah, and then I was like, turn around.
It's wonderful. It truly is wonderful.
Is it?
The current president excluded, which I haven't been in the attraction since a certain president who shall not be named was featured in the attraction.
President Voldemort.
Yes, correct. But it's a beautiful, inspiring attraction. Like, it makes you feel proud to be an American, to be in that attraction.
Listen, I love history. I actually love political history as well. I don't have a lot of interest in this attraction for some reason. I don't know what it is about it. I've seen the Abraham Lincoln show, which is called
Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Thank you so much.
In Disneyland. Yeah.
And I actually do have memories of that. I have very few memories in Disneyland because I was like 7 years old.
Sure.
And I do specifically remember seeing that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of kind of crossover between those two.
Oh yeah.
It's basically like Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, the Hall of Presidents, and the American Adventure at Epcot.
Yeah, all are one thing.
They kind of all cross over at weird moments.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm going to tell you right now, when we're down there for Gay Days in August,
I'm not going on
No,
it.
we are.
Oh, and by we, you mean you and a few new friends?
No.
Okay.
No, you have to see it at least once. Come on.
You know what I'd rather do is anything else. Like eat my hand. Sorry about it. Maybe I'll go on it. So, the Hall of Presidents was built to resemble the Philadelphia's Independence Hall. It's almost a replica, but a lot smaller.
Sure.
Obviously. But strangely, it looks teeny tiny from the outside, but it holds 700 people plus on the inside.
I honestly do not know
That's insanity.
where that show building lies within the space of the Magic Kingdom.
I don't get it.
I don't get how it fits in because it seems like it would
There's no way.
Slam into Fantasyland, does it not?
Yeah, don't you think?
It's a huge theater.
Are you underground during that experience?
No, you're above ground.
That's so weird to me.
Yeah.
They must have like a room of requirement that you walk through.
I don't know what that means.
It's Harry Potter.
Okay.
So as we just talked about, it's very likely that this ride is an extension of Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln in Disneyland.
That's right. In fact, Walt wanted to create a Hall of Presidents in Disneyland, but unfortunately he passed, and so it just wasn't a viable option, and so they decided to move it to Disney World.
Yeah. So just to briefly touch on it, when Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln was conceived and built, it was the greatest achievement in audio animatronics at its time. People were blown away.
It was produced for the 1964 World's Fair, and people thought it was an actor and not a robot.
Yeah, for sure. If you go online, you can find some really beautiful renderings and videos of the original concepts for Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, and they're beautiful. It's really outstanding.
Yeah.
Even to today's standards, it's really advanced technology. So to think that they came up with this like 50 plus years ago is mind-blowing. So the attraction is basically a history lesson of America, right?
Yes, it starts off with a film.
You should maybe talk about this more than I can because I clearly have not seen it. I've seen ride-throughs on YouTube,
Sure.
but
Sure. So it's a 25-minute show, and when it opened, and it was an opening day attraction at Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
It was an e-ticket attraction, Patrick.
I imagine. I mean, listen, it's mind-blowing technology.
That
for sure.
many animatronics on stage at one
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And so just talking about the ride experience itself, you enter the lobby and there's presidential artifacts in the lobby. And on top of that, there is a presidential seal on the lobby floor, Patrick.
Yeah.
And it's one of the only places in the world with a seal displayed outside of the White House in Washington, D.C.
I'll go even further. It is the only place other than the White House that the seal can be seen.
The show itself includes 44 audio animatronic replicas of all of the presidents of the United States. And you may be saying 44, but there's been 45 presidents of the United States. But Grover Cleveland served 2 non-consecutive terms. So there's your history lesson for the day.
Thank you so much. So as boring as this ride is,
No, first of all, it's not a ride.
I'm totally kidding. History, I love history. I'm telling you right now, I actually don't know why I have never been in this.
Well, I'm going to take you on in August, and everything will be made right.
Okay. I do have some fun facts.
Okay.
Although. Bill Clinton was the first president to provide his voice to the attraction. Prior to that, it was just Abraham Lincoln and I think George Washington who were speaking.
Correct.
And every president since Bill Clinton has followed suit in sort of a tradition, though it's not always expected. Another fun fact about Bill Clinton is that he provided his very own wristwatch for his doppelganger to wear on the attraction.
Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't that cute?
I heard that when he recorded his speech for the attraction, there's actually some outtakes from it.
Oh.
And some really wonderful kind of hilarious moments from it. Like I think he says after he gets done recording that he feels like he should sing Hi-Ho or Zippity-Doo-Dah or something like that. Like there's some really interesting kind of history behind that recording session.
Does he start playing the saxophone during it?
He does not.
Oh, well, then I don't care.
It would be incredible if he did.
Can you imagine?
His animatronic just whips out a
whips
sax.
it out, puts on some blue blockers, and just whips out the sax. I almost said the wrong word there.
I heard it.
No, thank you so much. Another interesting fact is that up until President Obama, Blaine Gibson sculpted all of the presidents, at which point he was 90 years old, and so he gave it over to his protege to sculpt the next 2 presidents. And so those are the only fun things to talk about on the Hall of Presidents.
Listen, it's wonderful, Patrick, and I cannot wait until you experience it. You're going to
Yeah.
feel so patriotic, and
Yeah.
you're truly going to love this country. Although I regret saying that now, knowing that we're going to be experiencing it with Trump as our president.
Nope. Dig out of this.
I won't. I hate him.
No, it's true though. I'm always looking for a place to nap, and this is where I can go.
You're going to love it. I promise you.
Okay. So moving on from the Hall of Presidents,
Yes.
is another fun-filled adventure called the Liberty Bell Riverboat.
Yes.
Exciting as the day is long.
Never been on it.
I haven't either.
Yeah, so there we go. I don't think it's necessarily required that you go on it. I think it's beautiful to look at.
It is.
And I think a lot of people just can't be bothered because they have other attractions they want to get to. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But at some point, I am going to go on
You should.
the riverboat.
You should.
And have that experience. You should not. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just going to go eat a turkey leg instead.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair too.
Well, listen up. So a little bit of history. Originally, Walt Disney World had 2 riverboats. The first was Admiral Joe Fowler, which was named after Disneyland's construction supervisor. So this boat was in action from 1971 to 1980. Sadly, after the boat retired, it was accidentally destroyed when it fell off of a crane on its dry dock.
That's a whoopsie daisy.
So many people were fired that day. I can't even imagine. Can you imagine watching that thing fall?
It was my fault.
I believe you.
I did it.
It
I
was
did
it was 1980, and you were at least 35 years old by that time.
Sorry about it. I was 1.
Disagree. The second one was Richard F. Irvine, named after a Walt Disney executive, which was renamed the Liberty Bell in 1996 after it was completely stripped down and redesigned. My assumption is that the Liberty Bell is a nod to Walt's wife, Lily, who was often called Lily Bell. Do you agree with me? Am I alone here?
That sounds right.
Liberty Bell, Lily Bell.
I can neither confirm nor deny this assumption.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's a little bit of an homage. So basically, the Liberty Bell riverboat
Yeah.
goes in a circle
Yeah.
around Tom Sawyer's Island
Yep.
and then comes back.
Yep.
The end. It is beautiful to watch.
It certainly is.
And it's like an iconic image in
Yeah.
Walt Disney World,
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom, for sure.
Yeah, it stands 47 feet tall, and it is a reproduction of a steam-powered paddle wheeler.
Yes.
It has 4 decks. I said decks, Patrick?
I've had 4 decks.
4 decks at once, Patrick?
Well,
My goodness.
hi, Mom.
And that trip around Tom Sawyer Island takes 17 minutes, and it's a half-mile tour. There was a recorded narrator for that experience, and that voice that you're hearing during that experience is Mr. Mark Twain, not the real Mr. Mark Twain.
Oh, I was like, wait,
It's an
literally?
actor portraying Mark Twain, sharing memories of Twain's time on the Mississippi.
Cute.
So during that 17-minute tour, you see an early American settlement, you see a Native American village. On Tom Sawyer Island, you see Harper's Mill, you see Fort Langhorne, you see Wilson's Cave Inn, and you get beautiful views of not only the Haunted Mansion, but Liberty Square itself.
To me, this boat ride sounds like 17 minutes to hold hands with and take a nap on your babe's shoulder.
That's cute. I agree. I think that's great.
Okay, great.
I like it.
Doing it.
This is something we should do, though, Patrick. We should do it. We should do Liberty Bell, and we should also do Tom Sawyer Island.
Are you saying we should hold hands and I can take a nap on you?
No.
Okay, I'll find someone else. I've got my Donald. It's fine. So last but not least, we have great moments in history with the Muppets.
That's right. The newest addition to Liberty Square.
Have you seen this show?
I have.
It's so cute.
Shows. There's a couple, right?
There are a few different versions, although not a fun fact, I've only seen one of them, and it's always Paul Revere.
Oh, interesting.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Although I think I always see it at 3 o'clock, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, there's also a show that focuses on the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And these shows are featured multiple times a day, right? Like they pop up and just kind of appear in the second story window of some of these buildings that we see in Liberty Square.
Absolutely. It's right next to the Hall of Presidents.
That's right.
And it features all of the Muppets, including Sam the Eagle.
That's right.
Who is one of my favorite Muppets.
The most patriotic of the Muppets.
So funny.
I really love it. And I think the public has really responded to this.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of quality, up-to-date Muppet experiences in the parks. I mean, there's Muppet Vision in Hollywood Studios, but is that up to date? Not necessarily.
I'll tell you what, Disney is trying so hard to revitalize the Muppets, and I'm here for it because the Muppets should be sustained.
Yes.
Right? And they're trying so hard, they just cannot find an audience. And this is a good way to try. And it seems to be pretty successful. Every time I've walked by, I have to walk through the Christmas shop to get by it.
Yep. Yeah.
Even though I want to see the show, but I've always seen Paul Revere. So that's the only time I've ever seen it.
It's very crowded in front of those buildings where the show is presented.
And it's a really impressive show, I have to say.
It is.
I've talked to you about this before where I'm like, how are they doing this? Because there's a live actor and Muppets who are live Muppeteers.
Yep.
and a track as well.
Yeah.
The timing on the show must be so precise. It blows my mind a little bit. Because where's that stage manager? That's what I want to know.
He or she is somewhere across the way.
I think they're in the Christmas shop on
Calling
the second
it all.
level. They
Yeah.
must be, right?
Yeah.
So they're only smelling ginger snap cookies and watching the Muppets.
Dream
It sounds like the
job.
best job in the world.
Well, we've heard that Disney Plus is going to be presenting a new Muppet show of
Yeah.
some kind.
Yeah.
And so let's hope that kind of reignites excitement about the Muppets.
Yeah.
And we get more Muppets in the parks.
Well, you know what they say, 19 times is a charm. Am I right? Okay, so let's move on to my favorite topic, food.
Yes, let's talk about the food.
So much food. Here's the thing about Liberty Square. I may not love all the attractions. In fact, I love only one of the attractions. one and a half. Because I like the Muppets as well. But the food there, though, so good.
That may be an overstatement, Patrick, because based on your review of Columbia Harbor House
Yeah.
during our trip in January,
Yeah.
maybe you weren't so hot on that location.
Listen, that's just one place.
Okay, sure.
There are multiple places.
There are.
Let's start there then.
Okay.
Let's start with the garbage and head upwards.
I liked it.
You did?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I love some fried seafood.
Okay, you hate your mouth. No, listen, I had the lobster roll and it was a sandwich. That's all I can say about it.
I'll give some more information to our listeners who care.
Okay.
The Columbia Harbor House is a quick service location, and it is mostly seafood type fare that has been deep fried in oil.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I really
you do
liked
see
it.
some food, though, while you're there.
I liked it. I said this during our trip recap in that episode, but I love some deep fried kind of like theme park food. That's what I'm there for.
I do too. Maybe here's where I went wrong. I went for the only non-deep fried item on the menu.
I feel like you did choose like the fanciest item on the menu.
I did.
Where I went just like deep down, dirty theme park fried.
And where yours have been pretty good, mine was basically a can of tuna opened up onto a bread roll. And a little bit of hate was thrown on it, and like a soupçon of regret.
Yeah, and I had so many mini corn dogs, and I could see you just looking at them like, how do I get some of those?
You know what, though? I have a fond memory because I got my Mickey Mouse sipper there.
It's true. I'm looking at it right now, and it is adorable.
And so many kids were like, for me? And I was like, not for you. Get away.
Right. That's right.
That's all I have to say about Columbia Harbor House.
Well, during our trip in January, it was my first time there, and I really enjoyed the experience. I know you didn't have such a great experience with the food.
I like the experience, though.
Yeah, but we had a fun time there, and it was a fun break during our park day.
Yeah, it's an enormous space, too. You will absolutely find a seat there. A lot of spaces in Magic Kingdom, it's like you get your food and you can't find a space, so you have to do a garbage can table.
Yeah.
Which is fine to do, no judgment. But there is so much seating there that you will find a space to sit there.
Absolutely. I encourage our listeners to explore the second level if they have not, because so much seating.
So, Columbia Harbor House, you can sit here. Is that their slogan?
I liked it.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Next up, we have Liberty Tree Tavern.
Yeah.
Which is table service, and it is kind of like family style and casual dining.
Yeah.
And it serves Americana food in 6 dining rooms, and they're named after kind of our forefathers, right? So like there's Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, John Paul Jones, Paul Revere, Betsy Ross, and George Washington. I regret saying forefathers because there's a lady in there and people who also weren't our forefathers.
Adam, talk to me about who John Paul Jones is.
I think he was a monkey. Wasn't he in the Monkees? Oh, that was Davy Jones.
That was Davy Jones.
Yeah.
Actually, John Paul Jones was a Navy captain, I believe, in the Revolutionary War.
My great-great-great-grandfather.
Actually, I think he was just your grandfather.
Rude.
Thank you so much.
I have actually never been to Liberty Tree Tavern.
Samesies.
Okay, because, and maybe you feel the same way about this, it seems like such a heavy meal. I mean, it's like Thanksgiving.
It literally says that on the website.
Yeah. And so I don't want to walk around a theme park after I've had Thanksgiving.
No, I can't imagine going, you know what, this 95-degree day, you know what I need now? Some hot turkey and some stuffing.
But you know what? I think we're in the minority in thinking that because it is always
true.
packed.
It's true. Yeah, you're right. Joke's on us.
Yeah, we don't know.
Maybe all you need on a hot day is to get heated up some more so you can cool down. Nope. Is that science?
Maybe.
It just makes you want to throw up. Okay, so we're 0 for 2 on the food in Liberty Square.
That's not true. I liked Columbia Harbor
You
House.
did.
Here's where we're going to turn things around.
Okay, turn the food around.
That's right. Patrick, Sleepy Hollow is my jam.
Oh, but goodness.
I love their sweet and spicy chicken waffle sandwich. In fact, it is my number one snack in our list of Fab 5 savory snacks in our episode 9, which was released on November 4th, 2018.
It's true.
I love that sandwich.
I have to tell you, I'm on the opposite spectrum. Although, listen, chicken and waffles, delish all day long.
Yeah.
But their fresh fruit with chocolate hazelnut spread waffle is so good, I will slap an infant.
No.
Fresh from its mother to get one of those waffles.
I've never had that.
It's so good, you will lose your mind.
See, I feel like that's something I can create on my own. So I'm like, I don't need that.
You can't.
But the sweet and spicy waffle.
How can you not create that on your own?
I mean, I don't know what the sauce is or like the secrets behind that, but like it's
It's syrup and hot sauce.
No, but the other one's Nutella and fruit.
I don't want to talk to you right now.
This is where our podcast ends.
Yeah, it's true. No, but I think it's just the recipe of their waffles is so good.
It is good.
It keeps that, it's like flexible yet crunchy.
It probably goes against science. We technically should not be eating it because
nothing in there.
Factors.
Nothing's food in there.
Yeah, no.
But it's delicious all day
so
long.
Good.
That space is a hot spot. You can't wait shorter than 10 minutes, I think.
It's always a forever long line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and rightfully so, because the food is so good there.
Yeah, and there's a really cute seating area kind of just off to the side and behind it where you get a fantastic view of Cinderella Castle.
Is it a fact that that is the only place you can get those waffles?
I'm not really sure. I just always assumed that it was the same recipe that they use for Mickey waffles.
I imagine, but that specific, like, it's an enormous waffle.
Yeah.
Non-Mickey shaped. It's just a big waffle sandwich, basically. And I haven't seen it anywhere else.
I don't know of any other location where you can get waffles like that.
All right, listener, let us know.
Yeah.
But you can get the Mickey waffles there as well, like topped with whatever topping you want and all that jazz. And strangely enough, the food there is only between $7 and $11.
It's very affordable.
It's very affordable for a lot of food. This
Yeah.
is a secret gem that actually a lot of people know about, but we're telling you now, exclusive here to Gaze to the D.
It's a not-so-secret gem.
Yeah. Go get those waffles, though.
Find it if you can. Good luck, listeners.
Yeah, good luck. So the last spot we should talk about for food, and it's not a restaurant necessarily, is the Liberty Square Market, which is right across from the Liberty Bell Riverboat. And it offers a ton of snacks and a lot of healthy options. A lot of the food in Liberty Square is very heavy. Yeah, I know. But you can get tons of fruits and vegetables and enormous pickles. You know what I'm talking about. And really delicious drinks. And it's a really good spot to get the turkey leg.
Oh.
Yeah, the infamous turkey leg is now, I think, only sold at the Liberty Square Market. And fun fact, 1.6 million turkey legs are sold every year at both Disneyland and Disney World combined.
That's so many turkeys losing their legs.
Oh, it's true. And they're enormous. I want to believe they're actually ostriches, but I don't want to believe that at the same time. Have you had one of those turkey legs?
I haven't.
Everyone says it's the best thing in the world.
You know, it looks like a lot to tackle, and you're carrying it around for a long time because it's a lot to tackle.
I want to imagine it's 1 million milligrams of sodium.
Yeah.
And when I say milligrams, I mean pounds, I think.
Oh.
It's a lot of sodium in that, don't you think?
Yeah.
They're very plump.
It also kind of always looks like ham to me. Like the inside is pink.
It does look like ham.
And whenever I've had an actual turkey leg, it's always dark meat, right?
Yeah, so it's probably a person. That's what I inferred from that. So let's move on to my second favorite topic in Disney World, shopping.
Which there's not a ton of in Liberty Square.
There's not a ton.
But the two stores that do exist are perhaps the most themed stores of any Magic Kingdom store.
They're almost their own attractions.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so start us off, Adam.
All right, so first up, because I'm saving the best for last.
Of course you are.
You went and saved the best for last.
Yeah, you did.
Vanessa Williams.
No, I was there for her tour.
Were you really?
No.
So first up we have Ye Old Christmas Shop.
Yeah. Shoppy.
Shoppy.
Yeah.
I've never been inside.
Are you serious right now?
I've never been inside.
Listener, if you could see my face right now, it's shock and awe.
Yeah.
and a hand is raised to slap.
And Patrick, you know this. I've said previously in private conversations that my dream is to one day have a completely Disney Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So this is the store for me.
So why do you hate yourself by not going in there?
I know, right?
What's going on with your life right now?
I like to self-exclude joy.
Okay, fair enough.
Is that a thing?
It is today.
Okay.
Okay. Fun fact about that shop, though, there's a little annex in the middle of it that you can go outside. There's a little sled that you can sit on and watch the parade from.
Get right out of here.
I will not get right out of here. You have to, get there early
Sure.
and sit on it, but it is the best spot, I think, to watch the Festival of Fantasy Parade.
So are we going to make a deal right here, right now?
Yes.
That I'm going to take you to Hall of Presidents on our trip in August.
Okay.
And you are going to take me to Ye Old Christmas Shoppy.
It's true. It'll only take us, let's see, the Hall of Presidents 25 minutes. It'll take us 30 minutes to do all those things.
That's great.
Great.
Yeah.
And that's enough time to have a turkey leg as well.
Handshake.
Handy. Ooh, nope, not the same thing.
Not the same thing.
Moving on.
The second shop that we can experience in Liberty Square
Yes.
is perhaps my favorite shop on all of Walt Disney World property.
I can't disagree. It's a great shop.
And that is Memento Mori, the Haunted Mansion gift shop.
Strangely, a lot of people don't know about the shop.
I think it's a combo of location
I think you're right.
and not fully understanding the meaning of the name of the shop.
I might be going out on a limb here, but I wonder if it's the only attraction-based shop not attached to the attraction.
I can't think of another, honestly. I cannot think of another.
It's actually kind of out of the way of the attraction.
It is. It truly is.
You would never know that it was what it was until you walk into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you love mostly about the shop?
I love that it truly takes the most memorable, iconic moments of the attraction itself and delivers it in souvenir form.
I love that they have grabbed onto little things within the ride that people are losing their minds over that aren't even big moments in the ride, like the wallpaper, for instance. That is now a print that you can buy on a t-shirt or a postcard or a painting. It's such a smart idea. I have to say, I have a new love in Disney World, merch-wise, and it's the Spirit jerseys.
Oh, sure.
I didn't think I was going to love those, but I do now. And there's a Haunted Mansion one.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It's so cute, and it glows in the dark.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah.
I think I might have to buy it on my next trip out there.
And I would just recommend maybe making it a crop top or a belly shirt.
It's true. I do have the small version, and it's basically a nightgown on me.
Okay, I need a double XL.
You do not. I promise you. You need maybe a medium.
Okay.
They're enormous. They're enormous. You've seen it on me, haven't you?
Despite what you think, Patrick, I am not constantly scrolling through your Instagram to look at your... Yes, I've seen it on you.
I know.
Okay, I've seen it on you.
You may think it's a ball gown, but it's actually it's actually a small version of the Spirit jerseys. I love them so much. But yeah, that one is adorable. They have very exclusive items there, I have to say, that you can only buy there. They are nowhere else in the parks.
That's what I really love about that shop, is that it's items that you can't find anywhere else, and they're all related to my favorite ride ever. So that basically wraps up the shops, Patrick.
You're right. Should we move on to some fun facts about Liberty Square?
Let's do that.
Okay. Well, I've got a fun fact that a lot of you may know, but let's just talk about it anyways. So when you walk down the streets of Liberty Square, you may notice there is a reddish-brown color in the middle of the streets.
I know where you're going with this.
This is to represent the sewage system during that time period. And when I talk about sewage system, I mean poop. Running down the streets.
That's right. It's a poop river in the middle of the street.
It is a poop river
Yeah.
in Liberty Square.
Back when colonists used to take their waste for the day and just toss it out their front door.
That's right.
And Disney decided, what a fantastic idea to include this as part of our theming for the land.
That's right.
And Poop River.
Yeah. So it's Poop River running down the street.
Disgusting and historically accurate.
Correct. So while we're talking about poop,
Oh, where is this going?
I'm talking about public restrooms
Okay.
in Liberty Square.
Yeah.
Beyond those found in the restaurants, you will not find a public restroom in Liberty Square.
That's
this
true.
is also in design to the fact that they did not have public restrooms during that time period.
Is it though? I feel like they just...
Well, they
put
had the
that in
street, obviously, which we just talked about.
Yeah.
That was kind of the public restroom.
Yeah, so are you encouraged then to just drop trow and
You are
Liberty
not.
Square? Oh, okay.
I must say,
Oh.
listener,
Yeah.
Don't poop in the street in Liberty Square.
You just told Oprah not to poop in the street in Liberty Square.
Well, Oprah needs to be told.
She's classy.
Well,
I love her glasses.
all right, what you got for me for some fun facts, Adam?
Well, Liberty Square includes a Liberty tree,
Yeah.
Patrick, which was actually found on property. It's an actual oak tree that was transplanted and actually grafted to a younger oak tree.
Oh, yeah, at the base,
In
right?
the base, yeah. And it's over 130 years old, which is pretty incredible.
That's amazing.
And hanging off the Liberty tree in Liberty Square are 13 lanterns, one for each of the original 13 colonies.
Oh, that's cute.
Also in Liberty Square is a replica of the Liberty Bell.
That's right.
And it was cast from a mold of the actual Liberty Bell in 1989.
That's amazing. Well, good job, Liberty Square. You did it. You gave us places to nap, places to eat, another place to nap.
Poop in the middle of the street.
You can poop there. It's not recommended.
I really love this area. I gotta
It's
say,
true. No, it's
feels-
beautiful. It is beautiful.
Yeah, there's something inherently dark about that time period.
Yeah.
In that things weren't right. You know, like there were witch trials, there were haunted mansions on hills,
Yep. There were presidents.
so many presidents.
There were riverboats.
Yep, turkey legs.
Turkey legs.
Christmas shops, which weren't called ye olde Christmas shops.
No.
Or shoppies back in the day.
They were called new Christmas shops
That's
back
right.
then.
That's right.
And no one had a public restroom. So it was a fun time.
A great time to live.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone smelled fantastic.
Everyone was fresh.
And every hour or so, there was a Muppet show in the second level of a building.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? Oh, colonial times. We miss you.
But also some truly awful things happened during that time, which we won't dive into now. But I mean,
Who has the time? Who has the time? But you know what? There's a silver lining.
what's that?
Chicken and waffles.
It's so good.
It's so, yeah. I
I
mean,
know you
it's-
prefer that
I do
hazelnut
prefer-
spread with the fruit. But
I do.
The sweet and spicy chicken and waffle sandwich.
Yeah. But we can agree on a location at least.
That is true. We came
Go
to a
eat
consensus.
at Sleepy Hollow,
Sleepy Hollow's the place
folks.
to go.
Yeah. You won't fall asleep or get pooped on there.
And you won't be hollow when you leave because it is filling.
Listen, Liberty Square for the win.
Do you really believe that?
I don't at all.
You are running to Frontierland at this point.
I
You're
am.
going back on Splash Mountain.
Slash Mountain, and then just sit down at the Country Bear Jamboree.
Whereas I will ride Haunted Mansion again and again and again.
That's fair enough. Listen, everyone loves that ride. You can't deny it. So Liberty Square may win because of that ride alone.
Yes.
We might have to have like a listener vote of which land wins after we finish our walk through the parks of Magic Kingdom.
We're close. It's Fantasyland and Tomorrowland left.
It's true.
Yeah.
We're very close. We're very close. So listeners at home, if we have missed anything that you love in Liberty Square or dislike or some things that we should revisit, maybe some hidden Mickeys that you might know about, let us know. You can email us at info@gazetothed.com.
Or you can always reach out to us on social media at GDTD Podcast. You know, Patrick, all this talk about the original 13 colonies and Hall of Presidents has really inspired me. And I think we should maybe consider creating some Gaze Do the D powdered wigs.
That sounds right. And when you like unfurl them, this glitter falls out.
Well, why not?
Yeah. Maybe a dog line. Right?
Because nothing says American history like a dog wearing a glittered powdered wig.
Yeah. Rover Cleveland indeed.
No, come on. Patrick.
Yas, Adam.
It's time for everyone's favorite part of the episode.
When I take my clothes off.
No.
Oh.
When we wrap things up.
Oh. When I put my clothes back on.
Finally, this nightmare's over.
Got it.
You've heard that before, right? Finally, this nightmare's over.
Daily.
Okay. It's time for some Quick D.
I knew it.
And this week, we're going back to the original Quick D Classic, where Patrick and I ask each other a question, and we have not been privy to that question prior to recording, and our answer is just so off the cuff.
Yas.
Is that what we should say? So off the cuff?
Yeah. Off the blouse? Maybe in our case?
It's not just the cuff, it's the full blouse.
The full blouse. The blouses are off?
Regardless.
Yeah.
This week, Quick D question.
I like it.
And I'm going to kick us off.
Uh-oh.
Patrick, here's my question for you.
Hit me with your quick D.
Congratulations, Patrick.
Yeah.
You are the 46th president of the United States of America.
I knew it.
It was between you and Mayor Pete.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
Here you are, the first gay president of these United States.
Thank you so much.
Would you please honor us
I will.
with your speech that is going to be presented in the Hall of Presidents?
I will.
Thank you, Mr. President.
That's how I start.
Uh-huh.
Because that's prestigious.
It sure is.
Thank you so much.
A prestigious throat clearing.
First of all, you're welcome.
Yep, that seems right. That seems right.
We did it.
Oh, good.
America.
Mm-hmm.
We did it.
Mm-hmm.
We elected me. I'm going to sing a lot during this. Just buckle up.
Okay.
To the seat. We are now free to be me.
Your vibrato is lovely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We are free to be me.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, I want everyone to really adjust to how I lead things.
Yep.
I need you to really embrace my view of life, which is embrace each other
Okay.
the way you would a lover.
Oh.
That there's a period at the end of that.
Oh, okay. That's it. That's it.
That's the end of that sentence.
Okay.
My platforms, of course, were
Oh, good.
Musical Mondays, Thirsty Thursdays.
Wait a minute. Musical Mondays means what?
Well, we go to a bar and watch musicals
okay.
on the big screen.
Okay. Got it.
Thirsty Thursdays.
And that refers to drinks, I hope.
No, it does not.
Okay.
It means go home with whoever you choose.
Oh, my.
4-for-1 Fridays. And these are some of the platforms I've run on.
Yeah. It sounds like you might be falling off those platforms.
Yes.
With what you've been drinking.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Healthcare for some.
Oh, I think that's our current policy. but okay.
No. I'm sorry. I was reading a current policy. I meant healthcare for all.
Oh, fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And of course, each purchase comes with a bottle of vodka.
Oh.
Of anything.
My goodness.
You're welcome, America.
What an incentive.
You're welcome, America. Introducing my first man, Donald Duck.
Yep.
We flock a lot.
It's a callback to last episode.
You're so welcome. What else? What else do you want to know? Public, what are your questions for me?
Well, I mean, you're an animatronic, so we could ask you anything and you would not have a response.
Oh, I'm in the Hall of Presidents?
That's what the whole thing was.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
That was my speech? Oh, I
Yeah.
blacked out for most of this question.
Oh, okay.
I moved on from bourbon to vodka. Also in my speech.
Sure. Mm-hmm. So your animatronic is actually holding a cocktail.
Well, someone else is holding it for me.
Oh, okay. Because
I've got the shakes.
You're the president of the United States.
I do.
With the shakes.
Yeah, fair enough.
And what would your closing sentiment be? What would be the ringing truth that your animatronic would deliver to the guests at Walt Disney World before they left the Hall of Presidents?
Yeah, they would be, whoever left these keys in my bedroom, I don't know who you are. Please claim them now.
Classy.
Yeah.
Classy.
That's not okay?
That is, I believe, what our forefathers dreamed of you saying when they wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Well, I went to sleep last night with forefathers. So
For daddies.
we should move on quickly, shouldn't we?
All right, Patrick. Well, what is your question for moi?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. Adam, I've got a very serious question for you again.
Yes.
As you know, Spaceship Earth is in rumors to go through a very big refurb.
Sure is, yeah.
Turns out you're in charge of creating the last few scenes
Fantastic.
in Spaceship Earth.
I love it.
Talk to us about what those scenes are.
I sure will.
Thank you so much.
Because currently we kind of go from what? It's like Steve Jobs / Steve Wozniak in their garage working on a computer.
Yeah.
And then suddenly we're like looking at Earth from a distance.
We
right?
sure are.
So we need to redesign that.
I just want to be clear that
Yeah.
Foxy Cleopatra is in those scenes.
Well, she's before that, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's staying.
Okay, good.
She's staying.
I would punch you.
For those of you that don't know, we're referencing she's a mannequin. She's not even an animatronic, but she's in like the computer room in like the late 70s, right? She's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
So after that, basically everything after that.
Yeah.
Redesign.
Okay.
Great. I'm starting with Max Headroom.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
you
we're going
are.
straight to the 80s.
Jesus Lord.
Max Headroom, and there's Madonna right next to him singing, I'm going to dress you up in my love. Because that was a seminal moment, not only in America's history, but
Yeah.
in young gay Adam's history.
Fair enough.
Love that song.
Yeah.
Immediately following that, Pepsi Clear.
Obviously.
A whole room dedicated to Pepsi Clear.
Maybe all the clear products.
Well, why not? There was a time when everything was clear for a while.
Remember Zima?
That truly was, in the grand scheme of the world's history,
Yeah.
a truly stand-up moment.
Yeah.
Zima.
Yeah. Who can't remember where they were?
I'd like to combine Zima with Zubaz, so it's a Zima and Zubaz room.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it?
I had a pair of Zubas.
Did you really?
I did. They were Vikings colored, so they were purple and gold.
How dare you?
How very dare I?
You're wearing them right now.
I am. Well, if I were wearing pants, I would be wearing them right now. We all know I'll record this naked.
A salute to jelly bracelets.
I like that. Don't be jealous of my jelly.
A light tunnel featuring smell erasers.
Oh, remember those?
Yeah.
The strawberry scent was my favorite.
I liked grape.
Listen, my favorite fake flavor
Yeah.
is grape.
Yeah.
But to smell, it's strawberry. I'm very complicated, folks. I'm very complicated.
Well, so is this ride, apparently, because
it is. It is.
it's heavily focused on the 80s and early 90s.
It really is. We've not left the 80s yet. Is there a blossom room?
No, I was going to say Will and Grace room. But
Oh,
yeah.
Will and
Yeah.
Grace
There could be
room.
like a whoa.
Like a
blossom.
whoa moment.
Whoa moment.
Okay. Okay.
And then we blast right past that into Will and Grace.
Thank goodness.
It's just Karen Walker quote after Karen Walker quote
Yeah, I
lining
like
the
it.
walls.
I like it.
Blacklit.
Oh.
Yeah. You're as gay as a clutch purse on Tony night.
Amazing.
Flying by you, but it's
Amazing.
read by perhaps Judi Dench or whoever the next narrator is going to be.
Yeah.
Could be Oprah.
It could be Oprah. It could be you doing Gilbert Gottfried.
Well, why not?
I mean,
I'm so good at it.
you are very good at it. It's kind of frightening.
And then last but not least, to bring it into modern times,
Yeah.
the final showroom of the experience
Of course.
is a celebration of avocado toast.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I do celebrate avocado toast.
Yeah, well, I want to keep it young. I want to keep it fresh for the people who may be visiting the park for the first time.
Yeah.
Those millennials
Of course.
who I am not a part of. I
Yeah.
don't fully understand. You're a millennial, right, Patrick?
I've never been a millennial.
Oh, are you Generation X, Generation Y?
I'm generation whatever born in 1981 was.
Okay, so you're Generation Y.
Okay, fair enough. I will take some avocado toast and I'll throw away the bread and replace it with a gust of wind.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all I can eat in a day.
a salute to Kate Moss's diet.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'll share that avocado with the garbage.
But don't you feel like avocado toast is the thing that truly binds us all together?
It will bind you for sure.
On the contrary, my friend.
Oh,
I
it'll
think
go
if
right
anything,
through you?
It'll go right through you.
Well, not when it's on toast though.
Yeah, I think so. All that fiber.
Oh.
But then don't you think like you're given a piece of avocado toast at the
Yeah.
end of the ride?
Yeah.
And then you hear, tomorrow's child, tomorrow's child.
Is that the song?
That is the song from the Spaceship Earth that I remember from my childhood. Yeah.
Oh my Lanta.
Yeah, that was the closing song.
You're bringing it back.
Enjoying a piece of toast
Are you 1,000 years old?
with avocado spread on it.
Wow. I moved to throw up.
Yeah.
I moved to throw up. Thank you for that, though.
You're welcome, everyone. That's your new Spaceship Earth. That's your redesigned Spaceship Earth.
Strangely, this might be the most exciting spaceship Earth we're about to see yet. Oh, no.
That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. Ratings and reviews are greatly appreciated and help people find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussion. Continue the conversation after this episode on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at GDTD Podcast, and submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See you real soon.